Good morning to you all on this Friday morning. Thank God it's Friday. It's a beautiful Friday so far. What I see from looking out my window this morning, the weather looks nice and clear. Nice and clear. So I pray that everyone is up in their glory this morning. Before I get started in my conversation, but I only got but so much time because I'm getting ready for work. But I wanted to come with the talk on. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to talk on this one. I found it very interesting about social media personality by the name of Telvin Rackins or something like that. A black man who um, was unalived by his girlfriend, long term girlfriend, or wife. But as we get into it from the video, I'll speak a little bit more on it. But before I get into it, let me go into the Father's prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy you are the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Always talk to the Lord in the morning before you start your conversation. Ask God for guidance and you know, you, to guide your tongue, to clean your heart, purify your mind. Don't keep no anger, heart, ugly stuff inside of you. Let it go. Let it go with whoever upsets you or in any kind of way. But this conversation is going to be real quick. May or may not pick back up on it later on. I always say that, never come back, but I'll try to get as much in as possible for you this morning. Talking about this gentleman, his wife unalived him due to the fact that I don't know what happened. They was out drinking at a club, partying, whatever. She came home, she was cleaning her gun, and accidentally shot her husband in the chest, and he was found unresponsive. By the time they got there, he was DOA, dead on arrival. So he was toe tagged. Okay. So the thing about this Telvin, the victim, was that he would get on social media and make bad, you know, um, jokes about black women and say, you know, I would say degrading things about black women. I mean, his preference was to be with his wife, or whoever who is non-black. But even if that's your preference, it's it's not nice to make the butt of your jokes about your own racial identity or whatever, or make fun of other people other than your, of say, well, black women this. He said bad things about black women. He made them the butt of his jokes and said some nasty things. And now the family is crying out for justice for how he died by being killed by his wife, saying it wasn't an accident. Um, she did it um intentionally, and there should be some kind of criminal harsh punishment, harsh criminal punishment towards her for what she did. And yes, of course, you murdered somebody, you killed somebody, of course you should go to jail, especially if you did it intentionally. And if you did it, I would say premeditated murder. So I don't know the story behind their relationship. I don't know what kind of relationship. I don't know if it was tumultuous. I don't know if they had that kind of relationship. I don't know if this man abused her emotionally, physically, and financially, or whatever. I don't know too much. I just heard this story. It just popped up. And I said, I'm going to just quickly talk about it, about his preference. It is his preference. And there's a lot of things that people say. that's going to talk about the story on black issues, about being about their blackness. But I'm going to say like this is just ignorance on both parties, okay? Because I look at it like, even if that's his preference, you don't have to rub it in nobody's face. You don't have to put other groups of people down. You don't have to say derogatory things or stereotypical things about other people because you have a preference. And don't say that, especially against your own kind of people, unless it's, you know what I'm saying? You could say things in a nice way, like I love all women, but I just prefer to be more with such a type of women. You know, the things some people speak into the universe and speak into their life, and then it becomes the end. It doesn't end well. You know, you just got to be very careful about how you speak on certain things, because right now in America we need to put that race stuff aside, because it's not really about race anymore, because so many people here come from all different places of the world, and a lot of people are mixed with all kind of different ethnicity. So we really don't need to be on that conversation too long anymore. Yes, we are people of color, we are people from African descent and ancestry or whatever, but it's really not, to me, in America anymore about color. I think what right now America thing is about what party you belong to. What's your beliefs and your political agendas or whatever. I think it's more now about people's, more of your political party than it is about the color of your skin. Is what the American people want to make their lives better, to live in America and to bring up healthy, strong children, and how we gonna compete with the rest of the world economically, and all on all kind of levels. Okay, so some things is just not that important anymore in America about what's your race, your skin color, your this, your that. I don't think it has anything to do with the color of anyone's skin. I just think it has to do with people's, what they believe as far as social class, your social class, your political views, or whatever. I think that's basically what it's all about now. It's not really about the color of anyone's skin. So he preferred to date this woman. That was his preference. And now she went home after they was drinking and partying or whatever that night. Got home and she went to get her gun and clean it. And the gun went off and her husband was shot in the chest. It doesn't make sense to me. I think she intentionally meant to kill him, and I don't think it was an accident. There was some kind of abuse going on. Maybe they were fighting. You know, things come out of people's mouth and spirit when they are intoxicated under some kind of influence of some kind of substance. Things seem to come out of people's heart. You know, they said a drunk mind or somebody that get high or whatever, a crackhead speak a sober mind or whatever. You know, because they can't speak it when they they can't speak the truth when they are sober. So they have to be intoxicated with some kind of drug or with alcohol to order to speak what's really going on inside of their heart. You know. So anyway, let's go into the video real quickly.
Had some sort of altercation with Telvin Osborne when a gun went off and Osborne got shot. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The sheriff, Alfonso Williams, says they're still getting search warrants, but he says this shooting was not accidental and Cobb could face more charges.
The offenses committed leading up to the discharge of the firearm included simple battery, family violence, and reckless conduct. It is reckless to go out and get drunk and then introduce a firearm into an argument. It is reckless to engage in an argument where there's pushing and shoving going on. And those are the predicate charges for the charge of involuntary manslaughter.
Anna Cobb there remains in the Burke County Jail.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I am so sorry about that. Let's get out of there. Okay, let's get out of there. Okay, we are going to move on. It's kind of hard, but anyway, y'all. Back to my Let me put a photo up or something. Hold on. All right, I'll just put this photo there for you. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, the young lady, she went home and cleaned her gun. And like I said, under the influence of, you heard what they reported there, there was some kind of under some influence of substance that she committed this crime to kill her husband. Not that I'm going to sit up here and say anything is right. A life is a life, a soul is a soul. And to take him out that way was horrible. But what he talking about is how he lived before his untimely death, is how he lived. He didn't, do well to his community because he actually rejected them. Okay, he rejected his own people. He did not want to be associated with black. He said out of his mouth and stuff about things he would do for this wife that unalived him. He talked about how he would kill for her, how he would um, go all out for her or whatever. So in the end, it sold something differently. She took him out. And for a woman to have that kind of anger and hurt and rage to the point that she's under some kind of influence of alcohol to want to alive you and try to cover it up and say it was an accident. It was an accident because she was cleaning her gun. Who comes home intoxicated from substances, drugs, alcohol, whatever, and go and get a gun and try to clean it without thinking, and something could go wrong because you don't have those good coordinations right now. Perif- your peripherals and everything else under that influence is kind of like making you think you can do things, but it's really fooling you out, making you, tricking you. You being tricked. Okay, your mind is in delusion. So anyway, like I said, you know, the family right now wants justice for his life because they don't think that the charges that she received should go to involuntarily manslaughter or whatever. They think it should be a more harsher punishment because it wasn't an accident. It was actually her doing it intentionally because of the way, the history of the story goes, like the details of the story, I'm sorry, about where they were, what they were doing at the time before he was unalived by his girlfriend or wife. So I'm just saying, it's his preference. He said he preferred white women, his Hannah, because black women are disgusting. And he said a lot of disgusting things. You can follow it up as you go along on these YouTube treats. I'm sure somebody else is on the subject as well. I got the subject. I got heads up from, shout out to Nika Knight. She covered the story. She's more detailed with the story, so I took interest to do my own research on the story because it's interesting about what's going on today with all the racial hype with some people on this racial stuff, especially what's going on. Like, I wanted to just bring to your attention that it ain't even about race anymore to me. It's about your political party. It's basically about if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican and what you believe in as far as policies for the American government, what you stand for. That's what America is about today. It's no longer about being black or being white, because you got a lot of black people who like Trump, and then you got some on the side that don't like Trump and don't like the black people that support Trump. Okay, they called them, you saw it from the pulpit with Jamal Bryant. He called them runaway slaves, which to me was a compliment because a runaway slave, you free. you know, you ain't under nobody else's leadership or anybody else taking leadership over your life or anything of that nature. You free. You're not a slave. You free. How could you run away? You're a free man. You running on freedom. So you to get up on your pulpit, and even though it wasn't nice for them to put his head up there, that wasn't a nice thing to do. But hey, Jamal Bryant, people are really getting tired of you on that pulpit and some of the things you've been doing, and it's not of God. So that's why they wanted to put you out there to get your attention. Get your attention. Sometimes God gotta use people to get your attention sometimes before he take action. Gotta send you the warning. Gotta send you the warning. Stop all that preaching that hate, racism, and pumping people up with all of that garbage on the feeding people that garbage. I'm saying on the pulpit, because that's not of God's work. Not at all. Not at all. And people are just tired of it. The black people that may hear this stuff, and they got people in their family that might be married into a a white family, or some black men that are married to wives that are from a different ethnicity, and people, they really truly could care about each other and love each other. I mean, who are we to judge? But the thing is that's their preference. That's his or her preference. And just because some black people do a certain kind of thing, the certain kind of way, because they ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't know nothing about this. Today we supposed to be celebrating. I mean, we supposed to be boycotting and not spending any money. I'm spending. I got loved ones I got to buy gifts for. I ain't got time to get caught up in all that craziness in the world. You do what's best in your heart to do. That's all I got to say. Nobody else going to dictate how I should spend my dollars or how I should live my life or whatever. That's my choice. If I want to spend my money and go out and buy gifts and stuff for those right now who I'm celebrating, and I want to go online and send them the gift online through Amazon, through whatever, that's what I'm going to do. Okay? So I ain't getting down with all of that stuff. That stuff will drive you crazy. Somebody sent me a text about this boycott stuff, and guess what I did? Delete. They on that foolishness. I'm not. I am not with that foolishness, because at the end of the day, ain't none of those people gonna pay my bills or do anything for you in the end. Okay, you lose your job, whatever. You get caught up in all of this stuff. Ain't none of those people gonna come fight for your job. Ain't none of them gonna try to fight for you and help you out. You gotta take care of you. You gotta do what's best for you. So anyway, y'all, I'm out of here. Just wanted to bring you that story on this Talvin guy who was unalived by his unblack, I would say, non-black wife, who came home after they drinking, party, and smoked, or whatever they did, and decided to clean her gun, and the gun went off and shot her in the chest. But we'll get deeper into the conversation. That's why I put his preference. Like, it's not a black and white thing to me anymore. I think what she did was ignorant and stupid, to be drinking and also trying to clean a firearm. That's why I tell people I'm not a gun person. I'm just not a gun person, because sometimes you have that gun saying it's for protection, but sometimes that gun can turn against you. You see, so be careful out there, whatever you're doing, and always put God the head of your life. Always look to the Lord for His response and what He wants you to do. To guide you in the right direction and guide your heart in the right preference. Okay. So with that being said, I love you. God bless you, and have a wonderful Friday. Peace.